the way it was. We fight in May and we'll fight in October. And then, we'll fight anybody in October. We'd fight a rematch with Joe Parker.
Yeah.
Oh, 100%. 100%. I mean, Joe Parker's openly said he hurt him badly in the first round.
Billy Nelson isn't pulling punches. His fighter is locked and loaded, with battles set for May and October. No excuses, no dodging. If that means dragging Joseph Parker back into the fire, so BIT.Parker knows exactly what went down in that first fight. He felt the power, barely survived, and now the truth is out. But does he have the guts to step into the storm again? Nelson isn't backing down. There's nowhere to hide. The world is watching. Will Parker rise to the challenge, or will he let the reckoning pass him by? Smash that like button and subscribe. This war is far from over.
Done it in the gym. I mean, Joe Parker's team wanted a rematch clause put in the contract the morning of the fight. So we're super confident. Joe done his job, but his team were apprehensive.
Billy Nelson just dropped a bombshell. Joseph Parker's so-called confidence exposed. His team, despite all the bravado, scrambled to insert a rematch clause on the morning of the fight. If Parker was so dominant, why the desperation? Nelson isn't buying the tough talk. They weren't fully convinced Parker would walk away victorious, and that speaks volumes. While Parker did his job in the ring, his team's last-minute panic tells a different story. Fear, second-guessing, and a safety net they clearly felt they needed. Talking big is easy, but when you're rushing to secure an escape plan at the last second, the cracks start to show. Nelson sees it for what it is, an admission that this fight was never a guaranteed win. Does Parker truly believe in himself, or is this all smoke and mirrors? Drop your thoughts in the comments.
It does feel a bit weird. It feels weird because he was at the public workout, and then, just like that, he got real ill, and there was no real statement, there's no real proof or doctors, there's nothing that, like you said, there's nothing that's come out, and even after the fight, nothing's come out, so it feels a bit weird. And it feels a bit strange that during that time that Usyk started calling out Dubois saying he wants him next. So I'm not saying it's he wasn't ill or he was ill. I'm just saying I'm not sure what's happening.
Joseph Parker isn't buying the excuses, and neither should you. Daniel Dubois looked sharp, put on a show at the public workout, and had the world convinced he was ready for war. Then, out of nowhere, he pulls out. No solid medical reports. No clear details, just whispers of an illness. And just as fast as he vanished, he's back, suddenly healthy and already calling out new names, while Parker is still wiping the sweat off from battle. It is all too perfect, too calculated. Was this really bad luck? Or was Parker set up to be left in the dark? The lack of answers only fuels the controversy. Boxing has seen its fair share of shady moves, and this reeks of strategic dodging. Parker came prepared for a war. Was Dubois ever planning to show up? Or was this a coward's way out from the start?
Yeah, we haven't heard anything back yet. So, and they're talking about Dubois and Usyk having a fight. So there's a possibility that it could be they're trying to line that fight up. Was he sick? I have no idea, and I don't want to go into it because I might say something wrong, or I might say something that he probably was sick, probably wasn't sick. I'm just not sure,
Sure. Is it?
Joseph Parker is still left in the dark. No clear answers, no official explanation. Just silence. Meanwhile, talks of Dubois versus Usyk are heating up, and Parker is left wondering, was this part of a bigger plan? The sudden change raises serious questions. Was Dubois really sick, or was this a calculated move to dodge Parker? If he was truly ill, why no official confirmation? And if not, why did a bigger fight opportunity just happen to open up for him? Parker isn't naive. He knows how boxing works. He's seen the backroom deals, the quiet negotiations, the moves made to protect certain fighters. He's not making accusations, but something feels OFF.WAS, this just bad luck? Or was Parker deliberately pushed aside for business interests?
Yeah, Daniel's fair enough, he had a fever and the two doctors examined him and said on their recommendation, we pulled him out the fight. When a doctor says to you, we don't recommend that you go ahead with it, we'll be foolish and macho to then go forward and for what? For what reason? No, we're not into the macho business. You know, we have to protect the fighter, the kid, and he's getting his career's highest purse. We ignored all that and make sure he's all right. His health comes first.
Daniel Dubois' trainer isn't backing down. He's shutting down all rumors, making one thing clear: this wasn't a dodge. It was a medical decision. After 2 doctors examined Dubois, the call was made: fighting would have been dangerous. Ignoring that just to save face? Reckless. With the biggest payday of his career on the line, protecting Dubois was the only logical move. But the timing is impossible to ignore. Fans aren't buying the story at face value. Was it really about Dubois' health? Or was this a calculated move to set up a bigger fight? Now, with a potential Usyk showdown in the works, suspicions are running high. Did Dubois truly need to step away? Or was this a strategic chess move to leapfrog Parker and go straight for the jackpot? The boxing world is divided. Some see it as smart business. Others call it straight-up avoidance. One thing's for sure, this story isn't over.
Andy Lee says Usyk. He also says Dubois. I know you're in the conversation of Dubois, Usyk. What do you do with your
There's
partner?
lots of things there to be done, and we will do them. I mean, there's no doubt about that. There's lots of... Sorry, I can't hear it. There's lots of things that we can look at, lots of permutations, and we'll get there at the end of the day with a really good fight for Joe. I mean, he's on the Queensbury team, and we'll make sure we deliver for him.
Frank Warren isn't wasting a second. He's making it crystal clear he's all in on delivering the biggest fights in boxing, and Usyk's next move will be massive. Warren isn't backing down. He's calling the shots, lining up high-profile options, and guaranteeing that no matter what happens, Usyk's next fight will shake up the sport. With Queensbury Promotions behind him, Warren knows exactly how to turn the hype into reality. It's about strategy, timing, and execution. The right moves at the right moment. That's what separates the greats from the forgotten. One thing's for sure, Usyk's next fight won't just be big, it'll be legendary.
Team was excited for him to demonstrate that he's also gone up a notch in terms of skills, and unfortunately we're not God. He fell ill 2 days before the fight, and the doctors were summoned. The Riyadh seasoned doctor was summoned. He first attended the hotel room, and he came up that he's got a fever pending coming through. His glands were all swollen.
Daniel Dubois was on the verge of his breakthrough moment. A chance to prove his growth, silence the doubters, and cement his place among the elite. But then, disaster struck. Just days before the fight, his body broke down. Fever, swelling, every fighter's worst nightmare. The doctors confirmed it. Stepping into the ring wasn't an option. But in boxing, setbacks breed suspicion. The timing, the legitimacy, everything was questioned. But let's be real, no true fighter walks away from the biggest test of his career unless there's no other choice. NOW, the stakes are even higher. Dubois isn't just fighting for a win, he's fighting to prove every critic wrong. When he steps back in that ring, it won't just be about his opponent. It'll be about redemption.
Bakole, and I told you what I felt about him, and I felt that Martin, who very bravely took the fight at short notice. Obviously got well paid, but it was Joe's night, and Joe took the fight and that opportunity in style and delivered in the big way.
Frank Warren didn't hesitate. Joseph Parker made a statement, and the boxing world heard it loud and clear. Martin Bakole showed heart stepping in on short notice, but this was Parker's night. He didn't just win, he put on a masterclass, dismantling his opponent with precision and power. Every punch was calculated, every moment controlled. This wasn't just a victory, it was a warning to the entire heavyweight division. Warren, watching it unfold, knows the truth. Parker isn't just another contender. He's a serious problem for anyone holding a title. NOW. The question is, will the sport give him the shot he's earned, or will politics once again block the road to glory?
Why should it be Dubois or Usyk? Why don't they step up and let him fight? But listen, I don't pay the money. It's not my, it's if they want that. But I don't like that. I think it's wrong. I think Joe should be given he'll get a fight. He'll get a fight.
Spencer Brown has had enough. He's calling it like it is. Joseph Parker isn't just being overlooked. He's being pushed aside. He's fought the toughest, beaten elite names, and proven he belongs at the top. But instead of getting the title shot he's earned, boxing's power players are making sure others get fast hyphen-tracked that Brown sees the manipulation. It's the same ugly politics that protects certain fighters while leaving true warriors like Parker in the shadows. But the tide is turning, fans are waking up, and the sport's reputation is at stake. HOW, much longer can the game go on before the truth blows up in their faces? One thing's certain, those pulling the strings won't be able to hide forever.